Hello, my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and it is finally time. It's here. My RTX 3080 ROG Strix graphics card has arrived. I ordered this 6 months ago in very early October of 2020, and this was intended to be part of my new build, which I built last November. And you guys can check out that video. I'll put a link to that here if you're curious about it. But I built an all-new PC, the ultimate ASMR machine that is both powerful and quiet. New AMD Ryzen 950x. It's quite powerful, but I got a lot of flack in that video for putting an RTX 2060 in that machine. That was a placeholder card, and I said as much in the video, but of course I ought to know people don't listen to videos. People just skip through and make just snap judgments, and I know that's not everyone. I know it's just some people. So there were lots of comments there being like, an RTX 2060 with a 5950X, that's gonna bottleneck. It's like, yeah, no crap. But I digress. The intent was to put this card in that machine, and it obviously was not here when I built that PC, nor was it here in January or February or March. Here we are in April 2021, and it has finally arrived. If you're wondering why it took so long for this card to get here, I encourage you to go check out last weekend's video, which somewhat coincidentally I happened to theme around graphics cards, talking about the GPU market and why the GPU market is in the dire state that it is. But suffice it to say that due to increased demand from gamers and primarily cryptocurrency miners, and decreased supply due to COVID-related supply issues and complications thereof, these things are like unicorns, and they are way overpriced. If you were to buy them on a secondary marketplace like eBay or something like that, if you want to buy them at the manufacturer's suggested retail price, the MSRP, you gotta wait, basically. There are other ways to get your hands on them too. If you're really quick on the draw, you might be able to get them using like stock alert bots on Discord or Twitter. One commenter on the last video said that the Twitter bots have been particularly effective and quick, it seems. Or, another alternative that many people in the comments on that video mentioned, quite rightly, is buying pre-built systems from system integrators like Dell or Alienware or CyberPower or whatever, and basically paying for the full PC, stripping out the card, selling the rest. So, those are some ways you can get your hands on these a little quicker, but I decided to be patient. I back ordered this last October, as I said, and finally, it has shown up. Part of why it took so long is that I wanted a very specific model. I wanted the ASUS ROG Strix card, because it's got good cooling, it's got quiet cooling, it's got good VRAM cooling, which is critical with the RTX 3000 cards, and I like ASUS. They generally do a pretty darn good job of their products. So I got this for MSRP, not just current MSRP, but actually October MSRP, which is probably another $150 less than the current MSRP, because ASUS has increased their prices twice since then on these cards. So all of that is to say, I'm very excited to be unboxing this card here today. at long last, I've had many people ask many times over the intervening months if it was ever going to show up, and at last here we are. So, without further ado, let's open this bad boy. This thing is, obviously a very capable crypto mining card, but I bought it for games. I really I want to be able to play games in 4K at high frame rates and high details for you guys, to be able to produce the nicest looking videos that I can. That was the original goal here with this whole rebuild. As you can see on the front here, we've got a big glossy image of the card. It's got 3 fans and an axial cooling orientation. And this big old heatsink underneath. It advertises all kinds of features. ROG Strix is just ASUS's gaming line, basically. Doesn't really mean anything in particular. It stands for Republic of Gamers. And Strix is, technically means owl. It's the Latin name for owls. And so I guess that's, the whole idea is that it's like powerful but silent. It's kind of the Strix thing. It supports ASUS AuraSync, which is their proprietary RGB or software. My motherboard supports AuraSync as well because it's also the ASUS ROG Strix model, the X570. But my case is closed. I don't have a window, so I don't bother with it. But this is the OC edition, which comes with a factory overclock. Normally, I wouldn't pay for that, pay extra for that, but it's easy enough to do it on your own. But this was the only one that was being offered on back order. The base model, I don't know if it ever even existed. It behooves ASUS when demand is so high to ship them all as OC editions and get that extra markup on them. Why would they sell the base model if they can charge more for the same product, basically? The RTX 2080 or 3080, is equipped with 10 gigabytes of GDDR6X, which is very fast memory. 10 gigs is a bit less than you might like to see on a card of this price in 2021. And for 4K gaming, maybe in the future, a couple of years down the line, it might not be sufficient, but I reckon it'll hold out better than many people think. If that's the case, then I'll flip it at that point. I'll sell it and I'll get something newer and better. So, but I think for the time being, it's plenty. It says down here, NVIDIA Ampere architecture, ray tracing, and DLSS hardware support. That's with the RT cores and the Tensor cores. So those are special hardware units that are part of the card that allow for hardware accelerated ray tracing and AI accelerated image upscaling, basically. Not too much going on over here. This whole box is it's actually made of plastic. This isn't cardboard, this is plastic. It's kind of a matte plastic, a bit of texture to it. Same info on the ends here. So the MSRP, the manufacturer's suggested retail price for a base model, like the Founders Edition of the RTX 3080, is $699 US. These fancier aftermarket models like the ROG Strix, which I believe is one of the fastest cards that you can, like stock cards of the 3080s. It's got quite a substantial overclock on it. The OC model, this one does, and the cooler is quite capable. So this one sells for premium. I'm not sure what the US MSRP on this is, but the Canadian manufacturer's suggested retail price is about $1,200 before taxes. At least it was back in October. It's probably more now. But that's what I got it for. I think it was about $12.40 plus tax or so. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's a lot of money. It's more money than I've ever spent on a GPU before, by quite a wide margin. My previous most expensive GPU was the GTX 980, which actually I unboxed on this channel many years ago. And you can check that video out up there if you're curious as well. I'll put a card for it. It's a little retro tech now, but it'll be fun maybe to go watch that and compare that unboxing experience and that hardware to this hardware that you're about to see here. But given the graphics card market, the state of the market today, paying 1,300 Canadian for this thing is a steal. Like, if I really wanted to, I could go sell this, flip it on eBay right now for 2,400 US, probably easily. I checked it out just the other day, and there were cards literally, like, people were buying RTX 3080s for that price. And as I said, this is one of the more premium models available of the 3080. So yeah, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hang on to it, and I'm going to use it as it was intended. Okay, on the back here, we've got all kinds of information about it. Cooling, it says max contact heat spreader, so it's got a real big contact plate, very smoothly lapped. Spans most of the card's footprint, so it's saying that it's got this big long heatsink. Heat pipes, of course, engineered with top-shelf capacitors, chokes, MOSFETs, selected to effortlessly deliver hundreds of watts at a millisecond's notice. Dubbed Super Alloy Power 2. These components are soldered to the PCB using an Auto Extreme automated manufacturing process. I mean, this is all just marketing speak, but it does use high-quality caps and other surface mount components, so that is worth something. Aesthetic, it's got a nice kind of brushed metal look. It's got a lot of metal detail on the surface, and of course it's got the RGB stripped down the side there. ASUS has their own software, GPU Tweak, which honestly it's pretty equivalent to like EVGA Precision or any of those kinds of things, MSI Afterburner. I tend to favor EVGA Precision, but I suspect they're all pretty feature comparable these days. Yeah, that's kind of what it says here. It talks about NVIDIA Ampere down here. It's got 3 display ports, 2 HDMI. I'll be using the HDMI ports. They support HDMI 2.1, which allows for 4K 120 Hz without any chroma subsampling and with variable refresh. So that's what I'll be using to plug it into my LG CX48 OLED display, which can do 120 Hz at 4K 10-bit color. That's going to be really hot. I cannot wait. It's been the downside, dropping down to the 2060. I've been locked to 60 Hz because it's only got an HDMI 2.0 port. That was a regression from my previous setup where I had a 165 Hz display running through DisplayPort, but when I moved to the LG CX OLED TV, I had to use HDMI. It only takes HDMI in, and so at 4K I'm limited to 60 Hz on the 2060, and getting the extra resolution and image quality of the OLED was very nice, and I've been loving it, but losing the smoothness of 120 Hz really hurts. Really hurts. Terrible. So I'm very excited to go back to the silky smoothness of 120 hertz here. I mean, realistically, the 2060 couldn't run any games at 120 hertz at 4K anyway, but even if I wanted to, or even if I wanted to try, it couldn't even output without chroma subsampling at that rate, so. Okay. There's a long preamble. Oh, interesting. So actually this is cardboard on the inside, but it's just got like, it's got like a plasticized exterior and a cardboard interior. So we have this jet black box inside that says Strix across the front with this red kind of like paint smear or something. I don't know. Looks very fast, very aggressive. And that's kind of it. Honestly, it says Strix on each end as well. But not much going on other than that. I have to say, the guy that I picked this up from at the computer shop, I bought it locally at a shop, and it's a pretty big shop. They do decent volume sales there, but these things are so uncommon. He was like as hyped as I was about it. He was like, dude, these things are like, he said the last shipment they got of these cards was back in February. So that goes to show how infrequent these things are, these shipments. Okay, here we go. There she is. There it is, guys. Oh man, I'm so excited. I only get to do this like, once every 5 years or something, and never with something this powerful. So it's sitting nestled very comfortably in a whole lot of high density packing foam. There's some on the lid here as well. Maybe this is technically low density packing foam, I don't know. It feels very well protected though. Before we get to the main event, let's see what's over here. A ruler. What the heck is this? It's like a little... It is a ruler. We've got inches here. We've got various logic gates over here, I think, or no, circuits. Little circuits. Pulse width modulation, diagram, AC. It's like a bunch of circuit diagrams. Ground. Yeah, more circuit diagrams over here. And then some coordinates. I'm not sure where those work out to, but maybe like ASUS headquarters or something. I'll punch them into Google after. I'm curious. Add a QR code right on the end there. And the ROG Strix logo. And centimeters here. 11 centimeters of length here. Funny little thing. Designed by ASUS Tech Computer Incorporated. I think it's made of plastic, but it's very dense. It's quite heavy. Alright, well, it's a weird little pack-in, but kind of fun. It came very well protected. That ruler was not going to break in shipping. Underneath that, we've got some cable ties. Some cable ties. ROG branded. And that appears to be everything we can access without lifting the card out. So let's do that. Oh, Lordy. Holy crap, this thing's heavy. Oh my god. Like, holy cow. I don't know how many pounds this is, but this is actually way heavier than I expected. Wow. All that's going to be hanging off my PCI Express slot. Yikes. Alright. We will, of course, get to that in a second, but let's just, it's like some weird, like, glue, foam, dust, I don't know. Let's just take a look at what else is in here. Little packet, ASUS on the front, cardboard. This will be the user guide. And I guess like a case badge. I'm not sure where this is supposed to go or why it's got a hole punched in it. That's weird. It's the ROG logo. Looks like it's probably sticky on the back side, but I'm not quite sure what this is. That's all that's in there. Oh, besides, nope. Never mind. This is, oh my god, guys. We have a trading card. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. They gave us a trading card with the graphics card on it. Like a faux trading card. It says 5 stars. And a picture of the card. ROG Strix. It's like a hollow foil. It's got 5 little pips for overclocking. 5 little pips for heat dissipation. I believe it for heat dissipation. I don't know about overclocking. I mean, maybe as far as RTX 3080s go, that is true. The RTX 3080 is kind of notorious for not being a great overclocker, because honestly, it's already been pretty much pushed to its limits. And in terms of like power efficiency, it's got past its peak. Like sometimes you can undervolt it and actually get better performance. They're pushing these things pretty hard, and they do suck back a lot of power. So it says here, from top to bottom, ROG Strix GeForce RTX 30 series GPUs have been totally redesigned to deliver the next wave of gaming performance innovation to the market. The series features advanced power delivery, premium components, and custom cooling solutions designed to unleash maximum GPU performance. It's pretty cheesy, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I don't know what that logo is. Looks like a Starfleet It's actually quite thick. This is thicker than your average trading card. Speaking of trading cards, I'm gonna have some more Magic the Gathering content coming pretty soon. With some potentially older packs, some maybe kind of fun retro cards. I'm not quite sure because it's gonna be a bit of a mystery. Consider this a little teaser. If you're interested in Magic the Gathering content and some mystery packs, potentially some older ones, make sure to hit that sub button if you're not already subbed. Hit that bell so you're notified. It should be coming pretty soon. Okay. Just graphics card warranty in Spanish or maybe Portuguese. I think it's Spanish. Somehow, for some reason, it's a separate insert. Okay, and here we've got the speed setup. A thank you card from ASUS. They say thank you for purchasing an ASUS graphics card. Each ASUS graphics card is meticulously crafted and thoroughly tested to deliver the quality you expect from a premium product. We hope you enjoy your purchase. I sure hope I do too, for what I paid for it. Holy cow. And it just says go download the drivers online, basically. I sure hope it works. It's got a 3-year warranty, but given how freaking hard these things are to get your hands on, I would not want to have to send this in for a return to ASUS or repair or something. RMA. Don't want to have to go that route. So let's hope it works out of the box as advertised. Just basic stuff. Card installation, connecting devices, about 1 billion different languages. That's that. I do believe that's everything in the box. Sure is. Okay, let's put this stuff back in here. Don't really need it out. Okay, it's time for the main event. I'm gonna use 2 hands for this because it is so freaking heavy. Oh my god. Okay, so this card is in a ESD or anti-ESD bag, anti-static. Very crinkly. Okay, let's flip it over the right way. Whoa. There she is, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, and non-binary pals. It's so extra. It's huge. I've never seen a graphics card this big, this chunky, this heavy before. This is unreasonable. One thing you can say is just based on the feel of the thing, ASUS does not cheap out on their heatsink or their materials. This thing feels like a freaking brick. Okay, so it'll of course slot into the PC like this. So this is what you see when it's, when you're looking in from the side of the case. This GeForce RTX, I don't think it lights up. I could be wrong. It might, I'm not sure. But this strip down here sure does, with these kind of angled like hash lines or something. You can see in there the heatsink. Looking very large indeed in there. And then of course also the power delivery or the power connectors. Your eyes do not deceive you. That is 3 8-pin PCI Express connectors. 3 8-pin connectors for one card. What the heck? That's insanity. The TDP on this card, I actually don't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's 420 watts, I'm pretty sure, for one graphics card. I'm pretty sure it's got that 420 watt VBIOS on here. That's crazy. They over design the power delivery on this card to be able to just pump an insane amount of power through there, so that if you really want to just throw efficiency to the winds, you can just overvolt and overclock the crap out of this thing, but no guarantees it's going to be stable, very high, or certainly not practical. I mean, that's just going to generate so much heat and suck back so much power. If we flip over to the back here, we can see it's got a big back plate, metal, of course, that is functional on these cards. They generate so much heat that having a metal back plate does provide some passive heat dissipation. You can also see this bracket here. This bracket holds on the cooler on the other side. The plate is screwed in with that bracket. You can see this big gap over here. This is part of the flow-through design on this card. Now the PCB on this card, the ASUS ROG Strix, it actually does not follow the reference design. So the reference 3080 actually has a really cool PCB where it's kind of got like a wedge shape cut out here, and there's literally like multiple pieces, not modular, but separate bits of the PCB to allow a flow-through design with the fan, so it literally blows through. This PCB is actually just one big PCB underneath here, and then the cooler just extends out past the end of it. So the third fan on the end here does partially blow through, but it's not quite as cool as the stock design, I have to say, from a PCB design standpoint. Again, you can see that heatsink in there. Lots and lots of aluminum fins. Lots of plastic on here, which we'll take off in a moment, because I know you guys want to see all that come off. That's the good stuff. We can see again over here more of those cooling fins. This actually looks like it has like a slight bit of damage on this fin. One of them has been slightly bent. It's a little worrisome, but hopefully it's not a sign of any other more serious damage. I mean, one slightly bent fin is not going to affect performance in any meaningful way, but just the fact that it's like that is a little worrying. PCIe 16X connector here. It's got a little bit of plastic on it just to protect the contacts. If you look in there, I don't know if you can see, but you can sort of see there's a heat pipe in there. There's a bunch of heat pipes in there, actually. I'm not sure how many in this design exactly, but quite a few. And it's going to need them all. It's going to need them to stay cool. And then on the, what you might consider the front, but technically the underside here, when it's in the case, unless you've got it vertically mounted, I guess, we have 3 fans. Oops. 1, 2, 3. I believe they spin. Yeah, they do. They spin opposite directions. You can see that the fan blades are curved that way, like curved counterclockwise, I guess, on the fans on the end, and then clockwise on the fan in the center. And that's to optimize airflow, so they're not fighting against each other and creating a bunch of turbulence. You can also see that the middle fan's actually a bit denser. It has more fan blades than the ones on either end, so that's part of their fancy engineering to try and keep noise down and cooling efficiency up. Here we have again, if you look really carefully, those mysterious coordinates again. It's kind of interesting. And then down here it says game on, which is like definitely kind of tacky, but whatever, you can barely see it. ROG Strix, it says up there. You can see the metal plates, the metal finish accents on the front there. And then we come around to the back plate, or the I/O plate, I guess. Expansion slot plate. I don't know what you call this thing. I should. Here we have our 2 HDMI ports. Our 3 display ports. DisplayPort ports. and then a bunch of vent space here. Because as an axial flow design, these fans basically exhaust air everywhere, out the back, but also into the case, out the sides. So this dumps a bunch of hot air into the case, and having a little bit of venting on the back there allows at least some of it to hopefully be forced out the back. You can see that this card is mega oversized. The PCI expansion spec allows for cards this long, right here. This sticks out another, I don't know, at least an inch, probably like an inch and a quarter, inch and a half beyond that. So you need a fairly deep case to fit this. I'm like 99% sure that my Define R5, my fractal design Define R5, will be able to accommodate it, no problem. But yeah, this is not a card that's going to fit easily into more compact cases. And it's long as well. I think it's about 30 centimeters, 12 inches, maybe even longer, 30 or 32, 31, 32. I can't remember exactly, but it's like longer than a foot. And so you need a pretty long case to accommodate this as well. There's really no way to talk about the size, like the length and the girth of a GPU like this without, inviting a bunch of innuendo. So whatever. It's huge. It's enormous. I'm intimidated by its size. But you know what? Hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully it's got the power where it counts. So oh, that's interesting. Actually, I didn't notice, but if you look at these fans, they're actually they're all connected. All the blades are connected around the perimeter. So they've got like kind of a circle of plastic around them. Interesting. All right, let's take some plastic off this thing, because that's always fun. I'm gonna try. It's actually quite difficult. Okay, let's start on the back. Of course, these ports have all these plastic plugs in them just to prevent dust. And we're gonna have to take all those out. It looks like, to get the plastic off the back. That's a little silly. If we can. Yeah, we can. there's the naked ports exposed. It's a pretty sexy video, you guys. Alright, let's remove this. Oh yeah. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Polished stainless steel plate. Good stuff. Okay, let's come around the front here again and see if we can't get one of these to lift up on one corner. There we go. It's kind of hard to see from where you're at, but the metal accents are actually like slightly recessed down in like there's a plastic kind of frame around them. So it's a little hard to get the plastic up. The metal pieces, the metal accents, actually have ROG Strix branding just like lightly engraved into them. Okay. Almost got it. There we go. One more bit here. Okay, let's try it from this end. There we go. Okay, and then each of these fans also, I think the central part has a little bit of plastic on it. Yeah, I think so. Oh my goodness. These little centers of the fans, they have metal accents on them as well. I can see that it's on there, but I just can't lift up the edge. Oh my gosh, this is impossible. There. Finally. Okay. I know this is kind of far away from the camera for you, but I can't really hold it up closer to the camera and do this because it's too heavy to hold in one hand and then try and do this with the other. Okay, I think that's all the plastic on the front. So that's the naked card. Well, it's got the cooler on. I mean, it's still clothed. Okay, let's do this side here. That's the RGB strip. And the little logo, the ROG logo. This piece of plastic actually wraps around the back here. Very good. And then in the back, I think we've got one big piece on here, which helpfully says, remove protective film before use. Thanks, tips. Oops. think that's everything. Oh yeah, the other thing that I didn't point out here is this little, see this little switch right there with the labels. It says P mode and Q mode. That's a little switch for the BIOS. There's actually two separate VBIOS loaded on here. One for performance mode, one for quiet mode. As you can imagine, performance mode just amps things up a little bit, runs the fans a bit faster, louder. Quiet mode does the opposite. I will almost certainly be running this thing on quiet mode, because I expect that will be plenty performant for me, and quiet gaming is a priority of mine, naturally. So it's just a tiny little hardware switch that you can toggle back and forth. Let's just set it to Q mode there. I managed to chip a nail. Okay, so there it is, you guys. I cannot emphasize enough just how heavy this thing is. It is huge. It is really big and really heavy and really dense. And it just feels like quality. This is why I go ASUS. This is what I pay the ASUS tax for. They do not skimp on quality. In terms of design, in terms of components, their stuff is more expensive, usually, than, competitors. But it feels worth it to me. My GTX 980 was an ASUS ROG Strix as well. And I remember with that unboxing, I remember feeling that it felt like quality. It was heavy, it was dense. The parts felt good quality. And then when I unboxed my RTX 2060, which was an EVGA XC Ultra Black edition, or just XC Ultra. Yeah, I think just the XC Ultra. That one, while it felt okay, it didn't have the same weightiness. And granted, it's a 60 series card, not an 80 series, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something about the ROG Strix 980 that really just felt like quality, and this has that. This has recaptured that. I'm reminded why ASUS is considered to be premium. It feels premium. It looks premium. So, that, my friends, is the ASUS ROG Strix RTX 3080. And what a hell of a card it looks to be. So I'm going to be popping this in my machine. I'm not going to film that per se. If you guys really want, I can post some pics on social media. Let me know if you want to see that. Once it's in place. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. It took all of my strength and patience and self-control to do this slowly and quietly for you, because I really want to get this in my machine and take it for a spin. I hope it's everything that I've been looking for. Powerful and quiet, so that I can produce some gorgeous 4K content for you guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I look very forward to having you back here next time. Bye for now, my friends.